Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Full Credit to Not Another Rugby League podcast. I'm your special guest, former legend, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and that woke broke platform that is Blue Sky at former_legend. Let's kick off with what caught my senses in the past 7 days. And boys, as if it didn't catch yours as well, it was the Seagull Screeching Championships over there in Belgium. It was the annual event. Took place this week, and it featured competitors who dressed up and perfected their most annoying bird impressions. Judges scored participants on their authenticity of their squawks and the commitment to their costumes. In third place was local lady Sandy Cracks with this fantastic impression. And coming up in second place was Swedish schoolteacher Craven Moorhead for his eerily accurate impression of a seagull. But boys, I'm happy to announce that Aussie lass Anita Dick won with her impression of a screaming seagull. Have a listen to this. Anyway, enough of that. Time to do a rapid recap for round 9, which was, of course, What Are the Odds round. And it wasn't anything to do with sports betting, although it was coincidentally brought to you by Sportsbet, BetR, Ladbrokes and Neds. But What Are the Odds round is where the NRL podcasters, comedians and content makers revisit jokes that they made about the NRL that came back to bite them on the arse. Amateurs. Who can forget sometime TV and radio personality Andrew Barnett making jokes about how much women really loved Jared Hayne back in the day, only for him to be locked up 3 months later. Or what about when Uber driver to the stars Steve Philp did a skit with Ezra Mam where he said he was the best driver he's ever seen, only for things to go south a couple of weeks later. Or when comic Mick Meredith made a song about John Hopewadi having the cleanest tackling technique in rugby league 3 weeks before the stink fist scandal erupted. Thankfully, I haven't been in that kind of situation yet, as I'm very careful about the things I have a laugh about, although the Storm did send some dudes over to have a chat during the week. Open up! Anyway, let's review round 9, and we start on Friday night out at Empty Seat Stadium where the Cowboys destroyed the Dogs at home 28 points to 12. Once again, the influence of Bulldogs attacking coach Adam Windscreens O'Brien was there for all to see. A barge over try and an individual effort for the Dogs from their half really shows off that Windscreens O'Brien flair. But it's clear the Bulldogs are definitely missing something. They're missing an X factor, and I just thought of this. But if I was the Dogs, I'd actually ask about the availability of one of the Cowboys, funnily enough. Hooker, Reed Marnie. I reckon he'd fit in at the Dogs. I'm surprised no one's really thought about this so far. To me, it's just what the Dogs need. A tough, niggly and crafty hooker. Which reminds me I have to fix up my bill at Cremorne Knock Shop. Anyway, the second game on Friday night saw the Storm set a new club record, losing their 7th game in a row, this time against the Dolphins, 28 points to 10. It was a heartwarming return to footy for the Blue Tack man, Jack Bostock, after an ACL injury put him out for 10 months. Bostock crossed for 2 tries, he ran for 130 metres and had a line break and 4 tackle busts. But at the moment, the Storm couldn't beat time with a stick, and their form is doing Craig Bellamy.
Do you see me f***ing laughing, my n***?
No jokes here. No good whatsoever. So much so, he was barely recognisable in the post-game press conference. Saturday afternoon in the first game on Super Saturday saw the Titans host the Raiders at Bang Bus Super Stadium, and the Raiders used the training run to notch up their 3rd win of the year, ending the game 28 points to 10 winners. After the game, the game's greatest football mind, Ricky Stewart, admitted to journos that all week he, and I quote, visualised all week that we just had to play footy. I mean, how does he do it? Visualising playing footy. I mean, it sounds pretty easy, but to be fair, Bulldogs coach Cameron Daddo had been visualising his team playing hopscotch all week, so maybe there's something in it. And how's this from the game's greatest football mind? He said, we had 18 and 19 men today, Ethan Alea and Jordan Utah. If I had told them that they were going to be round 9 sitting on the bench at 18 and 19, they would have laughed at me. They're not ready for NRL yet, he said. They're football players, which is handy, but they're not ready for NRL. Too many managers these days rush kids in. I can't rush them. They'll play when they're ready, or when Ricky needs an 18th man, seemingly. What a mind. The second game on Super Saturday was at Spurbank Stadium, where the Warriors beat the Eels 36 points to 14. It was close with 20 to go in this one before the Warriors scored 3 times from the 63rd minute onwards to put the contest to bed, with the milkman, Mitch Moses, giving a handling error to Khan Pereira, who scored the match-sealing try. As his post-match press conference came to a close, Eels supercoach Jason Ryle stood up before he put a question to the reporters in the room as he left. He said, "No questions on the officiating?" "No, Jason, you lost by 22 fucking points, you derrick. Sutton wasn't the one who missed 38 tackles, you fucking spoon," said fearless journalist @former_legend. And the final game on Super Saturday was from Armand Latte Stadium, where the Roosters beat the Broncos 38 points to 24. The feel-good story of the year came out of this game when Cody Ramsey returned to footy after 4 years on the sideline with ulcerative colitis, which coincidentally is my Tinder username, to help the Roosters to a win. Despite being down 24 points to 0, the Broncos climbed off the canvas to get within 6 points of the Roosters with 10 to play, before mouth-breather Katoni Staggs lost his mind and copped a sin bin for a cheap shot and a tackle. It cruelled the Broncos' comeback, and it was made doubly bad for Staggs, who was forced to sit next to assistant coach Trent Barrett as punishment on the way home. Sunday, and the Knights hosted the Bunnies at Old McDonald Stadium, and the Knights came good to win the game 42 points to 38. The game saw the return of the strawberry milkshake man to the field, Kalen Ponga, who recently signed for $7 more million at the Knights. And the blood nut didn't let anyone down outside of his private health insurer, playing the entire 80 minutes. It was a strange game, though, where 80 points were scored between the two teams and just 8 tackles made all afternoon, and where Matt Duffy handed the ball to Cody Walker, who was standing in front of him, yet was somehow awarded a try out of all of that. The second game on Sunday Arvo saw the Sharks narrowly get over the Tigers 52 points to 10 at Ocean Outfall Stadium. The lead up to this game was all about #Team First 5/8 Jerome Loyalty, who signed for the Papua New Guinea Tax Dodgers during the week. Credit to the team, who coincidentally confirmed that 3 superstars in the May brothers and Jareem Buller all agreed to stay with the Tigers once they knew Jerome Loyalty was leaving. Unbelievably, the Tigers led this game 10-6 before 38 dubious refereeing decisions from the NRL physio doppelganger Todd Smith shifted momentum towards the Sharks to get the home team over the line, and Smith a free night at the Northies later on in the evening. And in the final game of the round, fell over the line yet again to beat the Manly Seagulls 18 points to 16. It was the first game of the year for Manly half Joey Welsh. The former rugby union man played 80 minutes, and depending on who you listen to, it was either a solid game or the second coming of Jesus Christ. It was the first loss for Kieran Foran, who now slips to just an 80% win rate, or as Donald Trump declared, a 600% decrease in wins. Don't forget it was your old creepy Uncle Former who urged him to retire when he sat at 100% wins. What a loser. So that's round 9 wrapped up, boys. A round where the Dogs announced a rebuild, Jason Riles reached to the moon to blame the ref, and St George fans weren't having a bath with their toaster. Back to you in the Nathan Brooks Memorial Studios.
I gotta see some action, baby. I gotta see some action.